Lawyers for relatives of some of the people killed in Boeing Max Jetliner crashes are asking a federal judge to reject a plea agreement Boeing struck with prosecutors.
Earlier this month, Boeing agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy to commit fraud. The move would settle accusations that Boeing deceived FAA regulators who approved the 737 MAX planes. The deal includes the appointment of an independent compliance monitor, 3 years of probation, a $243 million fine, and requires Boeing to invest at least $455 million in compliance, quality, and safety programs. To put that into perspective, the company's net worth is a little under $120 billion.
Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling joining us live. Jen, family members say the deal does nothing to address accountability for those lives lost.
That's right. Those family members want the judge to toss the deal out. Aviation attorney Mark Lindquist says oftentimes a judge will rubber stamp a complex plea agreement like this. However, he says in this case, the deal fails to mention the more than 300 deaths associated with these MAX crashes, and that's one of the biggest problems for the victims' families.
Judge Reed O'Connor can reject the plea deal, and he should do so.
Nadia Millerant's daughter, Samia Stumo, was on the Boeing Max 8 plane that crashed in Ethiopia on March 10th, 2019.
My daughter is an amazing person. I wish she was still alive. I mean, she deserves to be alive.
She feels the Boeing DOJ plea deal is disrespectful to her daughter and the other victims.
This plea deal is just a bunch of a facade, a pretend to hold Boeing accountable.
In light of the door plug blowout on Alaska Airlines over Oregon in January, she says the current plea deal is full of problems, including limitations on what the independent monitor can do and Boeing's participation in choosing the independent monitor.
No other criminal gets to choose their own parole officer, and the monitor never delves into the actual problems of engineering, design, and manufacturing, which are the actual problems.
She says the deal also gives the DOJ the ability to form their own opinion on the monitor's findings.
If you look at it carefully, then if the monitor finds they failed, but the Department of Justice can still say they're fine.
She also feels a $243 million fine isn't enough and executives should be prosecuted.
Jail is a big motivator. So if they showed them jail time, those executives, then that would change all the behavior of executives across all industries.
Attorney Mark Lindquist represented multiple families of victims who died on Boeing planes in Indonesia and Ethiopia. He says there are many problems with this plea bargain, but the biggest problem is the failure to acknowledge Boeing's crime killed 346 people. He says this wasn't just fraud, it was fraud that killed people. While it's unusual for a judge to reject a complex plea deal, this is an unusual case, and there are plenty of reasons for the judge to send DOJ and Boeing back to the bargaining table.
This is just legalese to try to cover up Boeing's responsibility and not hold them accountable.
And Lindquist says that the judge would not be able to change or alter the deal, and he would have to accept or reject it outright. He says if it's rejected, then Boeing would presumably go back to the bargaining table with the DOJ to hammer out a deal that the judge would accept. Meantime, Millerant says that if the deal is accepted, her attorneys will file an appeal with the Fifth Circuit Court. Reporting live in Seattle, Jennifer Dowling, Fox 13 News.